Welcome back to part 2, glazing with AMACO, using Rainforest and Snow Celadons. And I'm doing my resist. I did notice a little oolite on there. This glaze is a little old, and sometimes that happens with the older Celadons. We have fixed that problem, but since it's an old jar, and you'll notice that what I do is I just brush it off when the glaze is dry. Now, I realize I left my tool upstairs. So, the glaze is mostly dry, but you'll notice that where the stickers are, that it is still wet because it's not going to dry on those. So I use a tool to lift the corner, peel that off. You notice I get a nice crisp line. You can use a needle tool. I don't know where my needle tool is, so I'm using a little scoop that I have handy. And just go around and peel those off, and I'll set them aside and save them for another project because they will work again. So, did have a question about using a clear glaze. There is no clear glaze on this. It is just going to be rainforest and snow, and the snow being very white will make these unglazed areas stay white, since it is a white clay. There we go. Another person was asking about using different colors, and you can try this technique with different Celadons other than just Rainforest. I have found that Storm works really well, and Obsidian is close, but is not as dramatic. You don't get as big of speckles. However, in the tests that I've done with the other Celadons, you'll get kind of a broken cloud look, which is very beautiful, but you don't really get the speckle, the oil spot effect that you get with Rainforest and Storm. And the reason for that is the chemistry of the glazes. The colorants in Rainforest and Storm are a little bit more, shall we say, active. And so I've got my snow all loaded up, and I just brush right over the top. Super easy, isn't it? So Rainforest and Storm have rather more volatile colorants, and so they're more active in firing. The snow is very stiff, and so it doesn't really, it's trying to hold on and not let those glazes vent up through it. So it creates this kind of speckle effect. So you're not likely to get that kind of effect with other combinations. I haven't done a lot of different ones, like I haven't tried you know, maybe like mixing snow with a little bit of a different color, and maybe using a different combination of base glaze. But the tests that I've done using snow on top of each of the other celadons, you don't get as much of the speckling. So Rainforest and Snow and Storm are the ones with snow over that do this. Obsidian a little bit, and then the rest of them kind of, it's more of a cloud look. So I'm going to let that coat dry, and then I'm going to apply another coat of snow over the entire thing, and then I'll fire it to cone 5 or cone 6, and I get exactly this effect. Now if I wanted this kind of effect where I have the green solid and then the speckled around it, I would have done 2 coats of the Rainforest and then put the stickers on top of the Rainforest, and when it was dry, waited for the Rainforest to dry, put the stickers on top, and then brush the snow over, and then remove the stickers before firing. Always, always remove your stickers before firing. If you're using newspaper, if you're using plastic, whatever your resist is, you have to remove it before firing. Especially if it's plastic, it can be toxic. But even so, if you leave it on there, it's not going to help. It's just going to, you're just going to have kind of a mess. But the glaze will still be sitting on top, and when it melts, it'll still be on top of there. But so you put the sticker on top of the Rainforest, brush snow over the whole thing, and then very, very carefully, so that you don't nick the glaze underneath, remove that resist material and fire. Again, cone 5 or cone 6, it works just the same. And this is 2 coats and 2 coats, but I do apply, as you can see, I apply pretty generous coats. It is not thin. As it dries, you will see a little bit of the surface texture. Can you see that? So it will be thinner and thicker, and that's okay. It's not really dry enough yet. So that is how we did this resist technique, this oil spot technique using the celadons. If you have any more questions, just drop them in the comments, and I'd love to hear from you guys. And I will see you next week. Have a happy new year, and happy glazing.